Hi, I'm Matt. In this video we're going to show you how to migrate an existing Supabase project to use declarative schemas. But what are declarative schemas? I think the best way to demonstrate is just to show an example. In Supabase you generally have these migration files which specify a history of all of the changes to the database. These files can get very long. This project is a small one, but often you'll have 20 plus files here. Declarative schemas are different. In declarative schemas, you specify the shape of the table, any primary keys, foreign keys, triggers, etc., row level policies, and then use Supabase dbdiff to create the migration file. So when you're using declarative schemas, you never touch the actual migration files. You make changes to these schema files. Now we'll go through the steps to migrate an existing project to using declarative schemas. So first I'm going to delete. These are the schemas generated in our code. I included it there for demonstration purposes, but we will regenerate it and we'll run it from scratch. Now I'll walk through the steps to migrate an existing project to declarative schemas. I created this GitHub repo, the link's in the description, that has scripts and a process overview for how to do that. So you put this Supabase inventory folder into the root of your Supabase project. We'll open up all of the scripts associated with it and we'll walk through the README. So you need the project to be running. We'll run supabase.start and supabase.reset, so we're starting from a clean slate. While that's running, so the next thing we'll do is dump the Supabase database. So Supabase dbdump, this dumps the schema, and in this case we're working on a local project, but your remote instance or your prod instance, this script takes a project ref, which is the project ID, as a variable. So if you include that, it dumps from remote, otherwise it dumps from local. We'll now run dbdump. This creates an output folder in the Supabase inventory folder, and this schema file has everything that describes the schema of your database, so everything in these migration files. It combines it into one file. We're going to use that file to create the declarative schema files. So it created this Python script that parses the schema.sql into multiple files. That creates this schemas folder in your Supabase project that has all the tables. It's sorted by table, so it has all the policies and indices and keys associated with the table directly here. And then it also has other files for SQL that's not associated with tables, such as extensions, types and enums, functions. Next, Supabase remote automatically grants privileges to Supabase to the users, and so we're going to run this, which creates a migration file, and this just grants these roles the privileges that they need. I think in newer versions of Supabase, DB reset automatically does this, but having this migration file isn't going to hurt anything, and it will make it backwards compatible. After adding a new migration file, anytime you add a new migration file, you should run Supabase db reset, which will make sure the database builds from a clean history. Now we'll run Supabase dbdiff. So what this does is, you see, it creates a shadow database based on this schemas folder, and then it compares the schema of that shadow database to the migrations and identifies any differences between the two. Okay, there are a few differences we have, and the reason for these differences is that Supabase dbdump only dumps the public schema, but we had some other SQL in the migration files that's associated with the users table and storage objects. So that's what we have this manual.sql. So in this file, we add any SQL code that wasn't automatically parsed and dumped from the existing table. So what I'm going to do is search for onAuth user created, to find out where this is defined. So see, this is the migration file. We're going to open that up, and we're just going to take this code and add it into manual.sql. But then we also see, so we see the other ones, auto delete old screenshots, that's right below. Service can insert report screenshots. If we scroll down, we see that actually all of these policies are what we need to add. So I'm just going to copy from right here and add into manual.sql. Save that, and then I'm going to run the dbdiff again to see if that took care of it. So running this should take care of it. We're adding those policies into our schema, so there should no longer be differences between our schema and the migrations. That's it, no schema changes. So that means our schemas folder is in parity with our migrations. And now instead of manually updating migration files, we can simply update the files in schema and regenerate the migration files. So we'll do that now. We'll just go to profiles. We'll add a field, my new var as a text field. And then we'll run Supabase dbdiff, and we'll call this added my new field. Alright, so now you can see that it automatically created this new migration where it added the column my new. Then we want to run Supabase db reset, because we always want to do that anytime we make any changes to ensure that the database can build from a clean history. And that's it. We're now set up to use declarative schemas in Supabase. Thank you for watching.